Kankouran. 40 years anniversary, Kankouran.
40 more years, Kankouran.
40 years, Kankouran. Come on now.
40 more years, Kankouran.
40 years, Kankouran. Come on.
40 more years, Kankouran. 40 more years, Kankouran.
40 years, Kankouran. 40 more.
40 more years, Kankouran. 40 more years, Kankouran. 40 more years, Kankouran. 40 more years, Kankouran.
Say we're 30, we'll come then, say it out.
40 more years, Kankouran.
40 years, Kankouran. Come on now.
40 more years, Kankouran.
Yeah, say it now. With authority, with emphasis.
40 more years, Kankouran.
We own this. We own this. Come on.
40 more years, Kankouran.
We tell this. We tell this. We tell this.
40 more years, Kankouran.
Deserve it? Deserve it? We work for it.
40 more years, Kankouran. Wow, wow.
Introduce yourself, Bob, and tell him who he is, man. You gotta do that before you get out of here with your little Kanye shoes on.
Yes, this is the legendary Big Baba Joseph Ngwa, originally from Cameroon, but been in Washington, D.C. for the past over 40 years. Came here in 1973 to go to Howard University Medical School. But, so I thought, but I received word from the ancestors that I have a better medical school for me than the one I thought I was going to go to. So pick up the drum and we'll send it to our medical school because that people need that kind of healing, not the one you think you want to go to. They don't need that kind of healing. All right.
Thank you, Bob. Always a pleasure. We're here to celebrate the 40-year anniversary. Thank you, Bob. You need to know? We're going to roll in and roll out?
Yeah, you go.
Okay. This is Kamon Freeman. We Act Radio broadcasting live from the radical side of Martin King Avenue, the underbelly of Nation's capital, foothill of City Hill, the line in the Cosford, the Douglas home. We're so honored to have elders who are still with us and still doing the work. That's what happens when you eliminate high fructose corn syrup from your diet. You'll be around for a long time too, because Dick Gregory said we're digging our graves with our teeth. So what you are what you eat. I'm joined by some beautiful young ladies. Young ladies. That's right. We claiming all of that.
That's right.
Because Baba Roy Ayers says, old is dead, young is alive. And if you drink your water, stay away from toxic people, you'll stay young for a long time. I want to speak life into everyone. I got Mama Lydia, Mama Eureka here, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell about the great work that we're celebrating the upcoming 40th anniversary of Kankouran Dance Company, which is a long-standing institution in Washington, D.C., and a towering figure on the cultural landscape of America, if not the world. I'll turn it over to you, Mama Eureka.
Thank you, Kamon, and thank you for your undying support for Kankouran. We always know that you are with us, and we truly appreciate it. Kamon. My name is Eureka Huggins. I'm the PR officer for Kankouran West African Dance Company. About 30 plus years in that position. And this year, Kankouran is celebrating our 40th anniversary. Niou Bolo Moye Dolle, the power of coming together. And I'm going to let my sister Lydia also introduce herself as one of our senior company members.
Thank you, Yuri. I am Lydia Curtis, and I am I've been a part of the Kankouran family since 1991, starting with community classes. And then 7 years ago, I joined the senior company. And I am thrilled and excited. And even with an injury, I said I would not miss the 40th anniversary of the founding of Kankouran, the power of coming together.
Now we got to speak healing. What's the injury, and where do we send our money to support this for-profit health care system in America for your recovery? Okay, I mean, there's a few people that's listening. Okay, all right, we don't suffer in silence, do we, Bob? We make some noise. Okay, we're here to make some noise, a joyful noise. So tell us how this got started. What is the significance of, because some people think it's just entertainment. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that we as a people have made, confusing, just like we have confused healthcare with health insurance, we have confused enlightenment with entertainment. I remember some time ago, a hip-hop artist, I want to call him out because he's doing some good work, but he said, he had some controversial thing in one of his videos and he was getting some flack for. He says, why do black people take music so serious? It's only entertainment. And I was like, oh, he doesn't get it. He does not get it. So please tell us what is so significant about our culture and music.
Thank you, Kimon. So Kankouran was founded in 1983 by Hassan Conte and Abu Kunta from Senegal, West Africa. They were good childhood friends. They came to the U.S. and the impetus behind the founding is really to preserve and to share the rich culture of Africa through dance and through music. Hassan studied traditional dances throughout West Africa as a young man, and Abu Kunta, master drummer, the late Abu Kunta, he studied music in Senegal and other parts of West Africa as well, and coming together here. What they noticed was that there was a lot of other traditional dance companies represented. And of course, it was ballet company, modern dance, but he felt that, wait a minute, there's no African dance company represented here. And since a lot of our enslaved ancestors came from West Africa, that really was a significant part for them. And I'll also have Baba Joe provide his capture of the founding of Kankouran, because he was also there at the very beginning. Baba Joe.
Baba Joe needs to step in real quick for commercial announcement because we didn't actually acknowledge what is coming up. The West African Dance Company 40th Anniversary National African Dance and Music Conference and Concert entitled Niou Bolo Moye Dolle. The Power of Coming Together is taking place over the Labor Day weekend. That's Thursday, August the 31st to Sunday, September the 3rd this year. This event also kicks off African Heritage Month in the District of Columbia. I want to make sure everyone knows that this conference and workshops will take place at Dance Exchange at 7117 Maple Avenue in Takoma Park, Maryland, and will be taught by 20-plus master dancers and master drummers from Senegal, Mali, Guinea, Liberia, and the Republic of the Congo. The Democratic Republic of the Congo, that's under so much strife from foreign powers and interventions to deliver you that coltan, the most valuable, dense, metallic substance on the planet. All right, just want to throw that out there. All right, this year's concert performance will take place at Howard University's Cramton Auditorium, and that is, of course, on the campus of Howard University, will feature guest artists from across the U.S. and Kankouran's company and community class family. Having said all that, Baba Joe.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, Kankouran, before Hassan and my brother Abdul Kunta, who is of late, came to the United States to do this, as the ancestors are bringing back to my memory. I was the one through whom they summoned them to come, because I remember vividly 1975, 76, I was at Howard University as a biomedical student, pre-med. And I come out the campus, everybody, all the students, everybody were looking strange and estranged, no soul, lost. And all I could hear in my heart was the power of drum beating. I said, wow, if they could just play some drums on this campus, they will wake up. But that goes for the rest of our people who are on the North American continent and beyond. So, make a long story short, I wound up drumming with Papa San, first with our late brother Melvin there, where we all met there together before we branched out to start Kankouran at the Lonesome School behind Union Station. That's where we started. And then the rest is history. And by the way, like you just said, it's more than entertainment. This is deep, deeper than we even can imagine. It's a healing to restore the souls of our people. And bring them back to their ancient selves. That's the nutshell. If I go deeper than that, you all would miss it.
No.
Keep it simple.
No, but he's correct.
Real quick, I just want to shout out Baba Melvin Deal, who really was one of the poetry mentors of making sure that we saw the value in our culture and our dance, because he was told during that time in the 60s that the only dance was ballet, the only cultural significant dance was ballet, and he saw that the true and wrong. So I want to make sure that we still know that we have overcome that accusation, because who are these gatekeepers that get determined and tell us what is art? So I just wanted to shout out Baba Melvin Dills, who was in here on this in this studio with the president of the Kennedy Center, the president of Juilliard School of Music of Art, the Jay-Z of classical music, Yo-Yo Ma, the cellist playing Bach, and Esperanza Spalding, a Grammy Award-winning artist. And before we started, I had to give the floor. We had to give the floor to Baba Melvin Deal. All right, so we're here to say that this is a continuation, and we're here to celebrate. And I'm so glad that y'all still here with us. Thank you.
No, I was going to say that, and to follow what Baba Joe was saying, that African dance and drum is really healing, it's therapeutic, it's spiritually rewarding. And the dance, excuse me, whoa, let me get some water. I can talk. Go ahead.
While she's getting herself together, I can add on and say that I work with young people, and part of our curriculum is to reconnect the children to their African past. And what better way to do that than through the culture, African dance, African drumming. The healing comes with not only with the vibration of the drum, but with reconnecting with your identity. Once you can realign your identity with your ancestors, you can reject the hostile culture, and you can heal and grow.
What I was going to say is that the dances that Kankouran teach and perform, they come from the classical tradition of African dance, in that these dances have been performed for centuries. And the rhythms and the movements have been passed on from generation to generation. So there's no dance that is similar to the other. There are dances for healing, there are dances for wedding, for different ceremonies, there are dances to give birth, for a good harvest. And so these dances, and with every dance, there's a different rhythm that goes with those dances. There are also different costumes that goes with those dances. So when people talk about African dance and drum, they think of people just jumping up and down on the side of the street, banging away on the drum. Totally different. So nothing could be far from the truth. It is, every single dance has a meaning. And dance and music has always played a critical role for us in traditional African society. It's our life. It's like water. It's life to us.
I know that we have for a long time been denying ourselves, the best of ourselves. We was conditioned to do that. How has Kankouran challenged that thought? Because we're talking about 40 years ago, when it started. What were some of the obstacles of bringing culture to the people who was conditioned not to appreciate and respect their own culture? And we're not even talking about the gatekeepers and the forces that's against us. We're talking about our people. How was Kankouran able to overcome those obstacles in the early days? Because I would like to hear that, because sometimes we celebrate our victories without letting people know what got us here. Because every day something tried to kill us and failed. All right.
Baba, I heard that question coming because actually you're not the one talking. The question is coming through you. And I heard it because they want us to address that issue so it can go out to the large audience of our people. See, what we think about ourselves as African people from the vantage point of our current image management projection on this hemisphere is directly the opposite. We are not what they say we are. Coming from home and seeing what I saw just at the sunset of that generation that carried the power of God. Did you hear what I said? They not carry the power, they manifest God. And I saw a peep of it, just a little teeny bit, from my uncles and my larger family in remote areas and villages across the African continent, where the purity of that culture has been or was maintained. So when we dance, we come into a fusion with our higher selves. We become our God selves. And we are not taken for jiving, step and feature or whatever, the way our enemies project us and want to describe us, because Europeans coming to Africa were very and are still very ignorant. They don't see. How can you define your father? You are Jah. You want to define your father or your mother? What am I saying? African people have been here tens of thousands of years before the Europeans emerged on this scene. And then you want to look at Africa and want to define it. Who are you? You don't know nothing. And that's a fact.
The obstacles of bringing culture to those who are just, unfortunately not appreciating, taught to not appreciate, and sometimes still to this day devalue their culture. What was the obstacles that Kankouran was able to overcome to bring that culture to those who wouldn't appreciate it?
I think some of it about what Joe just mentioned there, I think we have been taught to hate ourselves. We've been taught that everything Black and African was negative, it was jungle, it was primitive, because we did not know our history. And so the obstacles for Hassan and they earlier on was breaking that image and helping to cross that barrier to allow us to understand that we are, number one, the first people, that our culture is rich, our history is rich. And so what Hassan did, and he did it masterfully, I have to say, what he did was he choreographed traditional dances for the stage to allow American audiences, whether they were African American or in general, to understand and to be able to identify. Like if we're having a harvest dance, when we do this, it means that we're dealing with the food in the earth. And so he was able to, through his masterful costumery, he designs costumes for the stage as well. So I think it allowed those barriers to begin to be broken down. And then of course with Abdul Kunta, my gosh, when you hear Abdul, as soon as he hits the drum, everybody jumps up. And they jump, they respond because it hits their spirit. It hits their spirit. And so they were able to find ways to make those connections in ways that build upon what others had done, the work that Baba Melvin had done, and so many across the U.S. to preserve this African culture.
I'd like to add to that. Another obstacle is the lack of financial support. And I think the way that we've overcome that is that we've turned to the community for support. And just by virtue of being, of persevering and saying, okay, so we didn't have the money this year or next year, but we're not going anywhere. I think that, and eventually the culture has changed and more support has gradually come in. But another thing I want to say is that the music and the dancing speaks for itself. It's so beautiful that anytime, even if you come into it with a negative preconception, once you're in there and you see the beauty of it, you hear the music, and if you get a lesson and you see that, with the proper instruction, you can actually participate, it's life-changing. It is such a beautiful thing. I remember the first time I heard the chant that came in front of a particular dance. Before we dance, there's a drum call and then there's a chant. And I just broke out in goosebumps just doing the chant before, and I hadn't even started moving yet, because that's just how beautiful the dances are. And what I tell my kids when I'm teaching them is that when you hear a particular rhythm, let's say Sunu, that rhythm is so ancient and so, like you said, Any place you go in the world, when you hear that rhythm, it's Sunu all over the world. You could be in Japan and somebody's playing the Sunu rhythm, and the steps are the same because it's grounded in ancient culture. It does not change. The dance and the drum, the dance and the music go together. And you could be in Poland, or you could be in the United States, and somebody's playing Sunu, and it's the same as in Africa where it started, in Mali and Senegal, and in Japan and wherever else.
Ancient. The rhythms passed on from generation to generation.
The rhythms passed on for generation to generation. I want to bring up some history here. Back in the day when George W. Bush, #2, was in the White House, Kankouran had the opportunity to go to the White House. And it's a good thing that Kankouran Dance Company dances barefoot, because someone probably threw their shoes at George Bush at the White House. But I wanted to share this quick story here because it tells, I think, a snapshot of what Kankouran represents in the space that we exist in. This article is entitled, and this is from The Guardian. This is a progressive outlet. This ain't Fox News, okay? It says, Bush boogies on the White House lawn. George Bush has finally given a response to the age-old question, can the president really dance, i.e. white man? After a 30-second boogie on the White House lawn, the answer is, depends on what you mean by dancing. But suited, Mr. Bush was making an appearance for Malaria Awareness Day in the Rose Garden when the Kankouran West African Dance Company brought in for the occasion, inviting him to join in. The leader of the free world gamely agreed and set about swaying his hips, moving his hands from one side to another, holding his palms above his head, and even commandeering the drums for a few moments. It was a classic white man in Africa performance, completed with wild man facial expressions, although it was delivered with a lot more gusto than might normally be expected from a contemporary statesman. Whoever wants to respond to that, I just want to give a shout out to the Kankouran at the White House. All right, anyone want to respond to that?
Kankouran was there for the World Malaria Day. Kankouran was there. What you didn't see was all of the African embassies, all of the African ambassadors, and those who supported the initiative. And so for Kankouran, it was an honor to be there at the White House for that special occasion. And, you know, when the rhythm moves you, it moved, I guess it moved Bush. He jumped up because that was one of the things that he was sitting down and he just jumped up. So, you know.
Okay.
That's all I'll say.
All right, the drums can even make a war criminal get up. All right. So let's talk about what's happening over the course of Labor Day weekend and the festivities as part of the 40th anniversary celebration. And they got more than one location, so if we can run down through what people can expect, what they should attend, what is free and what is not, so that we can have as much as turnout for those people who are now appreciative and respectful of their culture, because Black Lives Matter.
That's right, Black Lives Matter. Okay, so we begin on Thursday, August 31st. The first 3 classes are going to be a dance place, but all of the other classes, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and these are classes that are being taught by master dancers and master drummers from Senegal, Mali, Guinea, Liberia, and the Republic of the Congo. None of the dances are the same. So there's something for everyone. So from Saturday on, all of the dances, all of the drumming workshops will take place at Dance Exchange at 7117 Maple Avenue in Takoma Park, Maryland. It's right around the corner from Busboys. Most people are familiar with that landmark, and the metro station, about 2 blocks from the metro station. We start very early all of the days, especially on Saturday and on Sundays from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. But Saturday night, the highlight of the 4 days of African Dance and Drum is the concert production that will take place at Howard University Cramton Auditorium. And this is where this whole idea of the power of coming together, Asan for the past year, he's always in demand all across the U.S. and around the world as a choreographer. And so he has been teaching a lot of people within those 40 years. So he has invited some of them to participate as guest artists for the concert. So some of them are going to be coming in from cities all around the U.S. And of course, Kankouran Senior Company, the children, the community class are going to be performing.
And I just wanted to say 8 p.m., Crampton Auditorium on Saturday evening, and that's at 2455 6th Street. the campus of Howard University. You need to be there because, like Yuri was saying, the senior company is going to do a couple of pieces. We have the community class, we have the children, and then we have the intergenerational piece. The mamas, the grandmamas are going to be dancing with their grandkids. So you can see the whole generations coming together. And then the people from across the nation who have benefited from Asan Kante's instruction will be coming and sharing as well.
This is considered as the largest family reunion for African dancers and drummers in the U.S. The largest, no others. People fly in on Saturdays just to see the concert. That's how powerful it is. And this is 3 generations, right, Joe?
Yes, yes, yes. And to make the emphasis, please come and bring your family, children, and extended family, uncles, because I'm pausing on purpose. I am pausing on purpose before I hit you all with this word. Because your ancestors are going to be there. And when you come, you will not leave the same way you came. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. I can give you some testimony, but I will have to make a special show with my brother here to come and throw some scoop from the ancestral world to you, because I have been to the slave sites across here because they call me to come and honor them in the forest, in the bushes where they are buried.
Thank you, Baba Joe. Yeah, I just want to say that this is not just the ancestors going to be there. It's not just the biggest family reunion of African dancers around the world. It's also cool. And I'm telling you, because I was there as a listener auditorium event, and there was a routine where they danced to house music. And it was a South African DJ by the name of Black Coffee. And I was like, I had to Shazam the jump to find out what, because the music was so tight. I'm like, yo, what is that? I Shazam the jump. And I'm like, oh, and then I got turned on to one of the world's biggest house music DJs in the world, Black Coffee from South Africa, because I attended the Kankouran events. I was turned on to that, and now I listen to him all the time. Oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? It has been a beautiful addition to my life and my musical palette. Shout out to Black Coffee. He's a one-armed DJ from South Africa who is amazing. And I was introduced to him, his music, by a dance segment, Kankouran, on a listener auditorium stage. And I'm so glad I was there. I'm so glad I was listening. I'm so glad that we have an app called Shazam that can give you the name of music when you find it. So I just want to say that this is also for young people so we can continue to grow and develop. I think probably the reasons we have so many problems in our community now is because there's a disconnect. You see the older people over here, the young people over there, and there's no intergenerational dialogue or cultural exchange amongst us. And we have to stop that, and we have to bridge that. And I hope that everyone in the sound of our voices will come out and be a part of this so we can do this healing, because it is the together.
It is. Come on, I'm glad you mentioned the importance of this to the youth, because we need them to come and really study the authenticity of the drum. The rhythms, because there's some rhythms that will ignite that warrior energy within you. And so some of those music, people use our own music, and so we need to come and dance and drum with the ancestors. Make them happy. They will work for us.
All right, we just got a few minutes left. I'll get a closing comment from everyone, but I don't think it's lost on me that we are in the nation's capital, and official music here is go-go, and it's based upon, it's predicated on the drum. And I think it's urbanized African music. And in September, unbeknownst to me, you just educated me again, that September is the African Heritage Month in the District of Columbia, the nation's capital. So you're going to take place in the city where African music is the official music of the city, and during the month where it's African Heritage Month. And so when you say that the music is vibrational, for those of you who haven't seen, they cloned Tyrone at least twice. You would know that they control us through the music. You know, and so here's an opportunity for you to hear our music, our culture, with no filter, no lens, no middleman, no corporation, you know, interpreting our music for us. Here's the raw, uncut. This is what you really need. You need to make sure that you have in your diet some input from our ancestors in this rawest, purest form, okay? No high fructose corn syrup in our music. Let's cut that out of our diets, okay? So we're gonna get closing comments and we'll start with the Baba.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Yes, please come, like I said before, when you come, you will not leave as the same person when you came. You will be renewed, energized, elevated, transformed, and re-empowered. Trust me, because I will be on that stage calling on those ancestors on those drums to come and fellowship with each and every one of you. Because the love that my sister Yurika said, when you sing and dance and hear with the music, you are in fellowship with your ancestors, your great-great-great-grandmother, great-great-grandfather, ancestors. They are there. They are not, they just change the form in which they exist. And they're waiting for you to turn around and look at them. And then they will embrace you. And that is what has kept me going for this 40 years and counting. And this is not what I came here to do. So please come one, come all, and support. It's all about you.
All right, see the value of your own culture. You don't have to wait till they go back to the White House.
There's so much power in embracing your own culture. It gives you the strength to mitigate racism, mitigate capitalism. It heals you from within. And I'm speaking from personal experience. And finally, I just want to thank Kimon for having us come and talk about this. This is very important. But please, please come. Re-embrace your African identity and have a good time with us.
Just come and let the music and the dance reignite your memory, take you back to who you are. Be part of the ancestors. Let them know that you're happy. Let them know that you are reigniting and finding yourself once again. It's going to be a lot of fun too. So come on and have some fun with us. Come on, thank you so much. You're always there supporting us. We really appreciate it. We're going to see you, yes, especially at the concert, but we're going to see you at some of the dance and drum classes. All right, yeah.
I mean, if y'all could get a war criminal dance, I should better do a little two-step. Now, let's see if I can share this website here for you guys. Kankouran, and that's Kankouran, Kankouran.com. .org, excuse me. Kankouran.org. Again, the dates are August the 31st to September the 3rd, and the big show, the really big show, is September the 2nd at Cramton Auditorium. Baba, take us home. I'm sorry, I should have tickets on sale at Cramton, or yes, tickets on sale. Get yours today. And I'm sorry I didn't bring in some watermelon with some seeds in here, because everything would have been very black to celebrate our culture that way. But taking us home was Baba. Baba. 40 more years, Kankouran. Come on, y'all.
40 more years.